I see the Epstein files yawn to all the other. It's funny you said that because that's exactly what I was going to in the next part when I talk about Trump, because I believe Trump is obviously connected to this, considering the person he put at the head of the FBI is the one who's leading this investigation. Regina said, in my humble opinion, these stories are pointing to the rise of the billionaire class and their proclivities under a makeover, yet alleged criminality. Um, yeah, I'm gonna get to this Trump part immediately too. I'm gonna go straight to that. So obviously, this is just showing that even with this professional gambler, he was saying in 2019 that this was happening. So if this was happening in 2019 all the way to now, and apparently this investigation started under Biden, obviously Trump, or at least the FBI, decided to put this out opening week of the NBA. Now Trump has been having a beef with these sport leagues the last couple years. We know the NFL, he's mad with the NFL right now because they chose to have a Spanish speaking man lead the Super Bowl, and he threatened to send ICE to the Super Bowl if they choose him. They still chose him, so he's angry with them. He's also mad with them when the Black Lives Matter thing, when they put in racism in the end zones and was playing the Black national anthem and all that other stuff. So he's been beefing with them. And the NBA, obviously, he's had back and forth, very public back and forth with people like, not back and forth, but more so going at people like LeBron. So this right here, at the same time as the investigation, I talked about this weeks ago. The Binance founder, this Asian guy, who pretty much got hit up with a whole scheme, money scheme. Trump pardoned him. So remember Trump, I said it a while ago, Trump knows how to use certain stories and headlines to cover other things. Well, he'll throw a whole bunch of stuff at you. And what's really important, people won't pay attention to. Now remember, this man right here, allegedly, or not even allegedly, it happened, he helped Trump with some of his own businesses. So obviously, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. At the same time, Trump has been bringing up possibly pardoning Diddy. Once again, knowing how to grab headlines like his mentor taught him, Roy Cohen. So, and I said this immediately when this stuff started happening. The one case nobody's talking about now, his base, the people who hate Trump, they're not talking about Epstein anymore. Like, because so many things happen throughout the year, most people in this country, they just focus on stuff in parts. So for 1 month, they care about this. And for another 2 months, they care about this. And then it just switch trends of what they care about month to month. So now the people that hate Trump the hardest, they're doing the No Kings protest, which I'll get to. And they're focused on other things. And now they're not even talking about the Epstein files being released or not. They don't even care no more. They're just moving on to something else that he's thrown at them. And they're focusing on another bone that he's thrown at them. So let me show this right here. Because this story with the NBA, and if there is an investigation, they was able to crack down on people, it means there's informants. It means somebody's talking. It's pretty obvious. People like Gilbert Arenas who said he's talking. But a story that hit the headline again, that we already knew this, is Al Sharpton got re-exposed for being an informant, which we already knew. I don't understand why this became a trend. Day before yesterday, people started talking about Al Sharpton being an informant again. It's like, we've known this forever. We know he had a run-ins with the mob allegedly, and he decided to run and became an informant to save himself. Even though I'm now found out that Al Sharpton says actually he was trying to do things to protect his community, and the mafia was trying to stop him, and so he went to the feds for help.
Well, we don't believe you. You need more people.
Nobody believes that. Regina said, our Trump pardons to Israel, China, Ukraine, any other group he considers an ally or an enemy. Trump is a strange person because he doesn't see enemies and friends or enemies and allies as different. The perception of how he treats you is based off of how much he needs you in the moment. So for this year, you might be an ally, but the second I need something different, you're now my enemy. He doesn't view people as actual friends or enemies. He just viewed you as tools, which is how those type of businessmen think. They don't think about people as actual humans. You're just a tool that I can use or not use. And once I can't use you anymore, I'll ignore you. Because even when you're my enemy, I can use you somehow when I want to get something else passed, or I have another agenda. I can use my dislike or my public dislike of you as a strength. So that's how Trump always moves. Let me play this right quick.
Al Sharpton has come clean about his secret past as a government informant. CBS 2's Dave Carlin tells us the activist admitted to helping the FBI bring down some of New York's most wanted.
I was not and am not a rat.
The Reverend Al Sharpton, identified as confidential informant CI7, now admitting he wore a wire for the FBI. He helped the government go after boxing promoter Don King, music executives, and mobsters, including Vincent the Chin Gigante, who famously wore his robe and pajamas in public.
I was cooperating.
Sources say that cooperation likely started after he was nabbed in a drug sting, caught on video. Helping the feds may have helped him. But Sharpton says he went to them because members of the mob wanted him dead.
They were threatening to kill me.
Sharpton is kicking off his National Action Network convention this week with headliners President Obama and Mayor de Blasio, who defended Sharpton.
I think he has done a lot of good for the city of New York and for this country.
Retired NYPD Detective Sergeant Joseph Jackalone says unmasking any confidential informant troubles him.
You never want this because we need people to help cooperate, so this is an unfortunate incident. Sharpton said...
It's funny, Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson are one of the few people of this ilk, those pastor/activist people that black people, for the most part, don't trust. They're the only ones that burn the bridge that much. You say, typical white man. Yeah, pretty much. Virginia also says I was not a rat. Sounds similar to I did not have sex with that woman. I did not have relations. He was lying like hell. But speaking of informants, so with this, people started talking about the Freedom of Information Act being used for past, because, this stuff opens up. This stuff is normally under seal for, I think it's 50 years, 60 years, something like that. And then it can become public information with the Freedom of Information Act. You can ask about whatever public figures or any investigation that the government did on people, citizens. You can ask them to release that stuff publicly, which is why we're supposed to have MLK and all that stuff information, but they never really truly gave us the real. They released it, but it wasn't everything. But anyway, if Al Sharpton, who's admitting now that he was an informant, even though he's trying to twist it to say he was doing something to save his own life and to benefit his community, how many people from the 60s, 70s, and 80s who are regarded as pro-black, for the community, for the people, how many of them will it turn out that they were actually informants trying to take down people like a Malcolm X or a Martin Luther King or even a Fred Hampton? Even though we know who the informant or snitch was in that situation, he ended up killing himself. But how many people that we revere right now, or people revere, black people in general, when people really start using that Freedom of Information Act to find out private information on them, the investigation that was happening, and the stuff they gave to the government to take down black people, it's going to be a sad day. Because it's a lot. When you read these books, these autobiographies or these biographies of these historical figures or these books written by people from their perspective on the lives of people we look up to, they always paint a different picture. Like, yeah, they had good intent, but this is what they were doing behind the scenes. This is the stuff they sacrificed for this right here. And I think it's necessary. Like I said, I'll never forget, man, when I started reading certain things and finding out about the Panthers and civil rights movement and the false flags that were being done. Yes, there were false flags associated with the civil rights movement. There were certain things that was happening that was set up by the people that are part of the movement to push things forward. Once again, it was with good intent, but it was lies. And you just got to be honest about that. It changed your entire perception of history. Because you realize that some of these people are just, they're created. They're concoctions. They're not authentic. They are people, they were heroes that were created and put in front of you to be celebrated for how they want you to carry yourself or how they want things to be perceived. And it completely changes how you view history when you read some of this stuff. But It gotta happen. It needs to happen. Absolutely needs to.